is Margaret, and I am doing a very, very special tutorial today. And this is definitely in lieu of the Halloween season coming up, so I thought I'd do a little bit more avant-garde makeup. And I've been getting asked to do the Black Swan, which I love that movie, and I love the whole makeup and everything. So I'm actually doing a little bit of a different twist, though. Although it is inspired by the Black Swan movie with Natalie Portman, I'm actually doing a little bit more of an inspired look from it rather than a duplicate look. So for those of you who've been requesting, I hope you don't mind, but I think you'll really like this. I'm doing a mosaic pattern rather than the wings and feathers, but clearly, use your imagination. Hopefully, you'll try this, you'll try different little um, differences in your own techniques that you want to add to it as well. So here I'm basically going more for the theatrics, obviously. So with the foundation, I'm going with more of an opaque, pale makeup foundation and a very powdery effect too. So I'm using a really white pale foundation on this here, and just if you look at theatrical makeup, and if you look at ballerinas, if you will, they tend to have very pale makeup. I mean, if you go up front really close to them, you would be like amazed how they look compared to like when you're far away looking at them from, the, the stadium seating. It's so different. So you really want to create some kind of authenticity with that impact of look. So here I'm going really pale, and I'm going just right down the neck, and I'm using my complexion brush, but I just put some extra white translucent powder as well. And I'm just creating a very matte, very even porcelain finish. So here I'm just kind of doing the finishing touches, and definitely, you want to make sure you blend really well because it should look really smooth and really clean and no shine. So what I'm taking now is my black pencil, and I'm going just using the eyebrow as the starting point and going down the bridge of the nose as an angular dimension, and then I'm going to go straight down the bridge. And with that, I'm creating a bird-like pattern on the eyes. So now this is sort of like my mixture of using that Black Swan inspired shape, but I'm also going to do a little bit of a different design pattern to this. And the shape actually looks sort of like a fish because I'm creating more of like a mask or like some kind of eye patch or eye mask, if you will. And but then this is definitely the shape of the swan and the way that the eyes are blocked off with the different colors and the feathers. So I'm kind of mixing both, but you'll have to play around with this. And I definitely agree that, this is something that you don't want to just try once. I would definitely practice this. And obviously this is not a look that you would wear out just on a regular occasion. I mean, this is definitely more for Halloween, or if you're doing some kind of like costume party, if you will. Or if you wanted to do some kind of runway kind of avant-garde look, this is perfect too. So here I'm just using my pencil, and now I'm going to use my straight brush, and I'm using a black gel liner ink. And what I want to express is that the black gel liner ink is so much easier to have a little bit more of a flow. Black pencil tends to be a little bit more waxy, so it kind of creates a little bit of a more jaggedy line, in my opinion, when you do big long strokes. Um, but the gel liner is a little more wet, so it definitely creates a nicer flow to the line. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking my foundation brush, and I'm just going along the edge to smooth it out because I want everything to have a very smooth finish and a smooth line. So now I want to definitely make a comment about the gel liner. I've heard and I've tested many different brands, and I know that some really dry faster than the others. So I would definitely try to go with more of a faster drying gel liner. But at the same time, you don't want it too fast drying because then it's going to create unevenness when you're stroking the lines in one dimension. So everyone has different preferences. I definitely do. I don't want to sway you in using one thing or another, but definitely just make sure that you test it. And if you're doing it on yourself, you definitely want something a little more faster drying, because it's going to be hard to do this on yourself, to be honest with you. Um, if you're using something that's wet, because it's going to definitely create, um, you know, some smearing and things like that. So here what I'm doing is I'm taking the line and I'm creating like 1/4 inch spacings, and I'm going up and down sideways with it, and I'm just going to go along the shape of this and just go vertically, up and down, and just going all across the eye like that, just leaving a little bit of gap. So what I'm doing that's a little different, it's really different, is I'm doing more of like a mosaic pattern. It sort of looks like a fish though, but I think you'll see what I'm saying when you see this. It's definitely going to be very interesting looking, and I'm going the opposite direction, so it really does look like a fish with the little tail right there. And but now I'm gonna crisscross it. So see how if you just go along, and you can be a little more creative. You don't have to do this exact, but especially when you're doing the mosaic pattern, because I think it's kind of nice when it's kind of a little bit off and not perfect. So here you're definitely wanting to, create a little bit more dimension and some, you still want symmetry, but some definite, you know, patterns. So what I'm doing now, because I'm going to be using different various colors to fill in the windows of the grid pattern. So I'm using a white metallic liner, and I'm painting those little boxes in, and I'm obviously not doing next to each other. I'm kind of spacing them out, and I'm going to be using dark purple, like jewel tone purple, jewel tone metallic blue, and an emerald green and a gold, as well with this a white, and it's going to really have a nice texture to it. So I already did the purple, so now I'm doing the blue, and I'm using cream foundation. I mean, you can use cream gel liners. I know there's a bunch of different companies that make different brands, but the cream I think really works really well. It's easier to fill in, and make sure you use a really small head brush. A flat head brush would be much better, because you get a lot more payout with using a flathead brush and a very straight edge cut. So see how I'm just filling each window in, and here I'm going to add some green, and I'm going to add some gold. I'm not going to show you, but in between the other spacings of it, I'm going to add some gold in it, and that will actually add a lot more reflective textures for this look. So definitely, see if you could look at the eyes now. You can see where I put the gold in. So I'm putting some strip lashes on there, and this definitely will help open up the eyes. And I'm having Liz suck her cheeks in, because I really want to create a very sunken cheek element to this, and I'm using a very just neutral peach color, because I don't want to take away from the eyes and the colors that I'm using in the mosaics. So I'm using a very flesh tone peachy color, so something that's very neutral, and I think it's really pretty, but also I really want the cheeks to be sunken in. So by having the the cheeks sucked in really allows to go right into the lower ledge of the cheekbone. And so as you can see, I'm really creating that effect. And with the lips too, I'm using more of like a brown cinnamony color or cream color lipstick, because I don't want it to have any really specific color to go against the eyes. The eyes are really the focal point of this. So as you can see, I'm using a very brownish kind of cinnamony color, something very neutral, but a little bit more with more depth. And I really love this look. Um, but anyway, so this is pretty much what it is. I really hope that you will try this and practice if you want to do this for Halloween, practice this a few times before you do it. And if you're really, really interested in learning more techniques, you can go to www.mkcbeautyacademy.com. I also take on private students if you want to come into Los Angeles and take a private training. You can also do an online training, which is fantastic. And you can also do a blended. You could do both and do a blended program. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you definitely want to see more, subscribe, like, and also add your comments and suggestions to what you want me to do next. Happy Halloween, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.